It looks like for Arc 4, we are going to be in for a extremely disturbing but deep time with the bracket extra strong things that are going on. Greetings, my Arc 4 of Our Wonderland awaiters. My name is Flair Bliss, and we've returned back to our adventures of Our Wonderland, beginning Arc 4, where I believe a focal character of this particular endeavor will be Gidget. It doesn't take me long to walk to the cafe. The downtown area is only 15 minutes from Brookside, though my hesitant pace turns it into about 20. Gidget's gonna think we just ditched her. By the time I make it there, my feet are stumbling nervously over each other. My hands are shoved into the bottoms of my pockets so deep I might as well be digging for gold, or somebody who is unfortunately deceased, or lint. Well, at least we're here in the cafe. It's about half full. A couple of people in line, a couple of people seated at tables. A feeling of strange nostalgia washes over me as I stand in the doorway. But the sight of Gidget's hair glinting beneath a hanging bulb snaps me out of it before I can fully succumb to my memories. The horrific, horrifying horror memories. I meander over to where she's seated at one of the small tables towards the back. Hello, Gidget. She has her laptop out and is typing away. Her hidden, what you would call a dream of being a coder. So intense she doesn't even notice me at first. Say something witty, or do something silly to surprise her? We'll do the something silly. Her sheer focus brings a smile to my face, and I can't help but want to surprise her. I glance around. My gaze falls on a nearby counter and a pile of trays on top. I grab one and start towards it. Towards her. Me and my words today. Even once I'm standing right next to her, she still doesn't notice me. It's like if we were never there to begin with, or we've dished her too many times in the Wonderland that she is intentionally ignoring us. So I balance the tray in my hand like some kind of fancy waiter, give a little cough, and then in my best posh accent, might I interest you in one of our fine confectionaries on this glorious morning, madam? Gidget doesn't even look up. She shoos me away with a little wave. No, thank you. Are you sure? We have quite the selection. This one here was served to the Queen of England herself, and this one turns your queen. Who would want that? Here we have ourselves a very rare item. Not only is it royalty, but it's green. Would you seriously just leave me alone? She finally turns, blinks, jumps back. Iggy, she laughs, bringing her hand to her forehead. What is actually wrong with you? More like was right. I've been working on that impression all week. No, I just came up with it in the last 30 seconds. I laugh and toss the tray atop the nearest empty table. You made it pretty quickly, though. Figured you'd be at least another 20 minutes. All right, we'll go then and come back 20 minutes later now. I pull out the chair opposite hers and plant myself down on the vinyl. Hello there, you two. The chair squeaks loudly. Come on, Iggy, what's with that nervousness? Well, you know me, I say, trying to mask my embarrassment. Cat-like reflexes and all that. Well, you certainly got the hair like a cat. She laughs. A cat on the last legs of its life, maybe. Aww. I blink, glance around, take in the patrons of the nearby tables. Take in Gidget looking at me from across the table, the near empty coffee mug next to her laptop. My neck feels sweaty. You, been here long? Little over an hour, I think. Wanted some peace and quiet to get this finished up without my parents lurking over my shoulder. But couldn't take off yet since my dad wants me to help him grab some things out of the attic later this afternoon. Oh, what are you working for? Working on, sorry. I think this is a little bit of a sensitive topic. She glances down, then away, smiles sheepishly. Just a little something. It's nothing, though. Let me see. I tap the edge of the laptop screen. Her cheeks go pink. It's just a stupid website. I thought it might help me look more professional to agents. I see her fingers curl, but she ultimately slides the screen around so I can see. I'm somewhat of a whiz kid with the arts of coding. Not me personally, but Iggy, sorry. I start clicking through. It's well done. No, we're not talking about steaks here. We're talking about a website. I'm kidding. Really well done. The layout is sharp and clean. Some nice scrolling parallax effects in the background. An inlaid carousel of images. And when I click through the links on her project, the links work! No, each one pops up a little card with more info and pictures. She's even got the makings of a login option for repeat bookings. Very professional. This is nice. I mouse my finger clicking away as I navigate the various links. What'd you use? React? Yeah, I switched over from Anglia and I haven't looked back. Thanks though. It's not done yet. There's some parts of it that I don't really like. She watches me for a moment. Are you inquiring about my opinion on this? Then her brows arc. Oh, since you're here, would you mind looking at something? She scoots her chair over with a couple of ear-wincing squeeze so she can see the screen. I wanted to set up a little chat window in the corner. Right? Can double as a, a frequently asked questions slot. And also if they want to just leave a quick inquiry, you know? And so I was trying to get the database set up on Firebase. But for the life of me, I haven't been able to get the API to connect. She grabs my hand but still holding the mouse and clicks back into VS Code. The touch startles me for a moment, and my gaze jumps down to her fingers over mine, to the way they sit softly atop the back of my hand, to the way her middle finger is pointing at you and saying F you for all the time she neglects. Arcs as she scrolls with a wheel. My cheeks grow warm, but I turn my eyes back to the screen all the same. Gidget now pointing at a section in the code, I realise she's been talking, but I haven't been listening. Come on, man. Wait, where? I say with a blink. Here, see? I've got the API key here in the config variable, but for some reason it's giving me an error when I actually run it and try and save into the state here. She turns the screen. There's obviously something missing or something that is added in which is not needed. Ah, my gaze flicks between the lines of code. I haven't used Firebase in a while. I'll need to get my bearings here for a sec. Of course. Right. She pulls her hands away, sticking them in her lap. Then sucks her top lip in between her teeth, eyes wide and blinking like some kind of spooked owl. It's the same look she used to give me all the time back when we spent hours after school in the computer lab trying to figure out some piece of code or another, usually when she'd broken something. Unintentionally. And often, oh God, and oftentimes on purpose, so that she can summon us to be by her side. I mean, fix the coding. The sight of it stops me for a second, and I just look at her. What? I stifle a laugh, but smile all the same, my brow arcing in amused interest. Nothing. What? Just you. What's that supposed to mean? I whistle innocently and begin clacking away noisily at the keys. Iggy Maxwell? You know when something gets serious when someone refers to you by their full name. That is my name. I scroll up a few lines looking for the telltale sign of Gidget's handiwork. And I find it in the string of garbled numbers and letters making up the API key. 199. Yeah. Completely innocuous. To everyone but me. My grin widens, but I hide it under my hand with a cough. Yes, I see what's going on here. This code is infected. Very infected. Gidget bites down her bottom lip in an attempt to contain her own laughter. Oh no, Doctor. Whatever could be wrong? She brings her hands to her cheeks in flux terror. A nasty little bug has wormed its way into the mainframe, We need to eliminate it post-haste. Ready your weapons, men. I select the 1990 year on the screen. Aye, aye. No, that's not how it goes. It's aye, aye, Captain, not aye, aye. No, I'm kidding. Gidget points her index finger skyward and twists her fist against it as though cocking a gun. I do the same. Then we cross our hands above the keyboard, forming an X with our fingers. With our powers combined, not even the most powerful forces in anime can stop us. And fire! I slap my finger down on the delete key as Gidget hits the backspace. The 1990 year disappears. I pause for a moment, letting the full weight of our glorious victory settle around us. And we're clear, the Iggy bug has been deleted. The Iggy bug? Gidget can't hold it in anymore. She goes forward in a fit of laughter, tears glint in the corners of her eyes. Oh my god, Iggy, how many years has it been since we did that? Too many, apparently. It's the little buggers are still infecting your code. They are sneaky. I lean back in my chair, tapping my finger against my chin. But strangely enough, they only ever seemed to infect your code. This elicits a wink. Well, the Iggy bug only infects good code. Rude. I sit up so far I nearly topple over. Gidget just laughs again. Slow down there, Mr. Cat-like reflexes, else we'll need to call in a real doctor. She pushes herself to her feet with a slap of her thighs. Think I'm gonna give myself a refill. You want anything? I feel rude if I didn't even ask when you sat down. Huh? Oh, sure, just a coffee is fine. Just a coffee? Are you sure it's not like an espresso, an Americano, any other kind of O's at the end? Got it! She grabs her near empty mug and heads to the counter. So I was trying to go to a coffee store with my dad and he just says I want a coffee. There's at least 10 different things you can order, which resonates coffee. But I'm kidding. I watch her fall in place in line behind a somewhat thick-set man in a bike helmet. My gaze stays on her for probably a moment too long. What do you mean by a moment too long? Oh. And for a second I see a much younger Gidget stand in her place. Hair cut above her chin, jeans baggy around her legs, and hair buried in her usual grey hoodie. Hello. She smiles at me as she waits for a coffee. But it is the young Gidget. So is it the young Gidget or the adult Gidget? The adult! We are in the present, not the past, which was the present. Even I can't tell. I scratch at my nose, then turn back to the table with a sigh, slumping forward with my chin in my hand. That coffee's gonna do me some good. We stay at the cafe another hour or so, just talking and catching up, mostly reminiscing, talking about the others, which has me wondering if Gidget is actively avoiding trying to discuss current events, her own endeavours. Perhaps for the better, I suppose. Distractions can do wonders for the mind. She offers me a ride on the way back with the caveat that she needs to stop by her folks first to help her dad and pick up some stuff. I don't mind, it's been a while since I've visited the old Bordel home. Stepping inside is equally as nostalgic as the cafe had been. All little snippets of memories floating around like bubbles in the air, waiting for my head to ram into them and pop open inside my consciousness. The gleaming hardwood floor remaining from the front door into the kitchen. The spacious living room with large leather sofa the five of us have spent many a movie night on. The school portraits of Gidget and Gertie in chronological order ascending the hallway wallpaper. Who is Gertie, a sibling? Gidget's mom is sitting in the recliner watching TV when we walk in. Gidget walks straight past her and into the kitchen calling for her dad, leaving me alone with her. I stand there awkwardly, smooth down the front of my shirt, because we have standards around here, scratch at my calf with the side of my foot. Hey, Mrs. Bordell, I say finally, one hand up in a half wave. Gidget's mom turns to me lazily. And I miss the way she sizes me up, her gaze traveling from my face to my shoes and back to my face. Who a goddamn tarnation are you? Damn, you turned out ugly. Well, maybe you need to look in the mirror to see the definition of ugly. Oh! But anyways, put my hands together, scratching my knuckles. I don't know what to say, so don't say anything. I mean, you always were a sickly little thing, but I assumed you'd grow out of it. She shrugs, turns back to her TV. I hear Gidget and her dad talking in the kitchen. I hope the dad gives us a more warming welcome, and when I glance over, I see him headed towards the garage, no doubt to go up into the attic. Her dad's got a step stool under his arm. I scratch at my arm. What are you doing now anyway? She doesn't even look over at me when she asks it. Web development, computer stuff, you know, freelance, it pays the bills. Gidget's mom makes a sound that's half acknowledgement, half judgment. Typical, you boys and your coding. Still, must not be very successful. I'm really sweating now. Well, people say that doing a career on YouTube is not that successful. Then look at people like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye. I told you wrong! I bite down on my tongue and let my gaze drop to the floor. Not that it matters. I never expected much from my daughter, so... Well, aren't you the high expectation parent? Another shrug, her gaze flicking upwards in apathy. When she doesn't continue, I turn towards the TV. It's playing a soap opera of some sort, everyone talking 50 times more emotionally than a natural human being would. Yeah, it's called staged. Not really what I would choose for entertainment, but it's better than staring at the wall while I wait. Well, I think I'd rather stare at the wall, thankfully. So I simply stand there, arms curled across my chest, and watch it with her. The silence palpable between us. 1 minute stretches into 2. It's a 5. Gidget's mum grunts. Raises a hand towards the TV. Idiot. I don't really know who she's referring to of the two people on the screen. No, she's referring to you. But I'm not about to ask. She clicks her tongue. She's cheating on him, you know. Lord. Is she talking to me or the TV? I'm feeling more and more like I want to sink into my shoes. Finally, after what feels like a lifetime, I hear the garage door pop open and footsteps in the kitchen. She's just laughing at something as she carries a somewhat bedraggled box of old computer parts. Should have figured she'd say something like that. Gidget says in response to something I missed that places the box down on the kitchen table. Is he here? It's here fine, sorry. That's good. Thanks, Squirt. Her dad's lugging the step stool towards the other room. Gidget dusts off her hands and wanders back over to the living room. That should be it, Iggy. Sorry for making you wait. Then when she sees the TV, oh God, not this. I can't believe you're still watching this. I need something to fill the gap my children refuse to fill. Well, aren't you the ever-pleasing mother? What? You want us to fill your life with over-dramatic BS? Gidget laughs, leaning an arm on the back of a recliner. Better than nothing. What'd you bring him over for anyway? Who, Iggy? I was just giving him a ride home. Gidget's mum chews on her bottom lip with a hum. Here I was hoping you'd have some good news for once. Hey Mom, I finally got engaged. Hell, I'd even take, hey Mom, I got... Well, aren't you the ever-pleasing mother for your child, for goodness sakes? Expectations. Expectations, I hear ya. Preemptive expectations. Mother! Gidget raises. Mum raises her hands in sarcastic defense. So sue a woman for wanting grandchildren. So sue a person who doesn't want a child. I am not having this conversation right now. It's not like you're doing anything else with your life. Well, success is not always defined about having a little one of your own, okay? I mean, at least you don't look like Dennis the Menace anymore, but I really don't know what you're expecting with this whole modeling career of yours. Well, I don't know what to say about that other than you are a nuisance. Maybe try losing 20 pounds first. Hey! It don't matter what weight you are, as long as you have a big ambition for that particular kind of thing. I think saying nothing would be better so that we don't get ourselves involved here. I see Gidget's hands curl into fists as pinpricks of tears appear in the corner of her eyes. This has clearly hit a nerve, and seeing Gidget's face makes my heart twist. But somehow I can't bring myself to say anything. If you say something, then you are picking one side here. This isn't my business, is it? Gidget shoots me a look of hopelessness before jerking away with a shamed wince. I don't even know why I come home anymore, she shouts, twisting her heels and starting for the door. Come on, Iggy. I look back and forth between Gidget and her mum in a jade stupor. Her mum simply gives a little shrug and goes back to watching her soap. Bye. I say, not at all awkwardly, before scooting off after Gidget. I reach her just as she shoves open the front door, and I give a flustered yelp as it flies back in my face. Oh dear. The drive back to my apartment is silent. I'm not sure if we should have intervened there, but something tells me to not intervene. I sit in the passenger seat, playing with my hands and staring out the window as Gidget keeps her gaze locked straight ahead. Her fingers tied around the wheel. Obviously, this is a lot of the world drives on the left-hand side steering wheel. Fortunately, it's not far. We reach the small parking lot of my apartment complex in about 5 minutes, and Gidget pulls the car into one of the 3 spots. She turns off the ignition, sits back in her seat. The silence returns, even more palpable than before, without the sound of the engine to mask it. I toss her a few wayward glances in her direction before I work up the courage to say something. I'm, sorry about that. Gidget lets out a blasphemy groan that's half roar, half wail. She brings her hands to her head and clutches at her hair. She makes me so mad. The things she says, what gives her the right? She slams her fist back down on the wheel, hitting the horn in the process and making me jump. I watch her nervously. She slumps forward, bringing her hand to her forehead. I can see her shoulders trembling. I've tried so hard, she says softly, so softly I almost can't hear her. I glance down at my lap. The hair on my arms is standing up. Oh, are we going to be angry again? And a big cold stone feels like it settled down in the deepest recesses of my bowels, a heavy weight dampening my spirit. I bring a hand up, reach towards her, pull back, wince, then finally rest it softly on her shoulder. It's not the first time I've seen Gidget upset. Not the first time I've tried to comfort her. But it is the first time since things had changed between us. My brows furrow. Hey, it's okay. We know you are. I know you are. I give her shoulder what I hope is a comforting squeeze. She wipes up the tear dribbling its way slowly down her cheek, looks up at me. Sometimes I just feel like nothing I do is good enough. I bite down on my lip. And confused. Confused? Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, it's stupid. Her eyes are welling up again. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to do. Sometimes I don't even know who I am anymore. I think we all have felt this at some point in our lives, as to like, with what we're doing at the moment, is this the thing that I really want to do? Or am I just wasting my time? Sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I would rather do anything else other than do a recording. Not because I dislike the game that I'm playing, but it's just the experience of doing it sometimes is too sour to do on that particular day. Let's keep it quite open-ended. None of us know what we want. It's not stupid. Hey, come here. I pull her in against my side the way I have so many times in the past, resting the side of my head against hers. It's okay to be confused. None of us know what we want, right? I sure don't. Yeah, I hear her whisper beneath her breath, her fingers digging into the fabric of her pants. You think my parents are happy with me holed up in my little apartment on my computer all day? I laugh, then raise my voice about an octave in an attempt to sound like my mother. You're gonna have a heart attack and die in that apartment and no one's ever gonna know. Yeah, my neighbors will know because I'm shouting out loud because of the sheer terror and sheer pain of a heart attack. This elixir me chuckle from Gidget. Yeah, I guess. I give her another squeeze, pushing my cheek against her hair. It smells nice. No matter what, we'll always be there for you. I see Gidget wringing her hands. Right hand squeezing the left, then left hand squeezing the right, her fingers jerking up and down with the movement. Her body feels suddenly tense against mine. I put away. What's wrong? Her face has gone red, and I can see her lips trembling. She swallows. Then in the next instant, ah, you just know what to say within a given moment, Iggy. She leans in towards me and brings her lips against mine. A romantic moment. I freeze. I'm not sure I even register what's happening at first. Only that Gidget is there, and I can't breathe, and goodness sakes, if my heart doesn't quickly go into overdrive as I hyper-focus on the soft feeling of her lips. It doesn't last more than a few seconds. She quickly pulls away, brings her hands to her cheeks in what looks like sheer panic, her face a brilliant shade of crimson. Oh God, I didn't mean to. Goodness sakes. She starts slapping her palms against her forehead. I feel my body unclench, muscles untwisting as I sink against the back of a car seat. I just stare at her, eyes wide and blinking. Like, am I meant to say something? I'm almost like a deer in the headlights. I can't even form words. What are words? The concept of speech has been lost on me. When she kissed me, it's like she took away my ability to talk. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. She's practically curled in on herself, gaze fixated on her lap. We must sit there like that for a solid 60 seconds, neither of us making a sound before I finally shift in my seat. I say idiotically. I scratch at my cheek. I'm probably about as red as Gidget by this point. I'm sorry. I don't really know what to say. I've never really thought about... I wipe out my mouth. Gidget starts to panic again at this. She brings her hands up in her defense, nervous grin tugging at her lips. It's okay. I just pushed it on you without thinking. I don't expect a response right away or anything. But despite her words, I can see the disappointment on her face. Hear it in the way her voice catches. It's like, come on, Iggy. Don't you know my advances? She'd been hoping I'd react differently. A more romantic reaction. This shames me. And I bring a shaky hand to my forehead. I let her down. Always let people down. Yeah, I need some time to think. Of course. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. It's me. I shouldn't have planted one of her cheeks, but she doesn't finish. More silence. I need to get out of here. Already I can feel the walls of the car starting to undilate around me. Okay. I'll call you later then. Okay? Okay. I'll pop over the door of the passenger seat and swing a leg out. Have a nice evening. I grimace but pull myself up and out of the car, all the same running a hand through my hair. Are you not going to say thank you for her for driving us back to our apartment? I swing the door shut. It was quite forcefully as well because the screen shook. What the actual hell is wrong with me? Who says that? I'm too awkward. No, nobody's too awkward to live. It's one's own self-acknowledgement. I watch her pull out of the spot and give a somewhat half-hearted wave as she drives away. Then wander towards my apartment building. Everything seems razor-focused yet hazy at the same time, and a cold sweat is broken out across the back of my neck. It takes me 3 times to get my key into the lock of my door. My fingers are shaking so bad. Once inside, I shut the door behind me and fall back against it, letting myself slide to the floor. I close my eyes. My whole body is trembling now. I curl my arms around, my arms around my legs and bury my face into my knees. Goodness sakes. Our Wonderland, where all our dreams can come true and more. Nothing I do helps settles me down after that. Into the afternoon, into the evening, I stay fixated, hyper-fixated on those lips, on what happened in the car. Okay, something similar. On that closeness. On her lips against mine. On that lingering disappointment tugging at her lips as she looked at me afterward. I don't get any work done. Can't. My head is too jumbled. I try sitting at my desk, but end up just staring at the blank monitor for a good 15 minutes before I realise I haven't even turned the computer on. Why ain't my computer working? Why aren't there colourful screens on the screen? Oh yeah, I forgot to press the on button. No, I'm not going to be able to focus at all. So I lie down on the couch, just staring at the ceiling, perfectly still despite the jumping jacks my intestines are doing inside my gut. Once the sun starts to set, painting the far wall in a glorious fiery red, I decide to take a bath. Yes, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Steam the force out of me. And then we see Gidget out the window. No. I let the tub fill as I scrounge around in the kitchen, desperately hoping I've got some alcoholic dregs somewhere. There's a near empty bottle of rum in the back of the fridge with about an ounce left colouring the bottom. Good enough, I suppose. I grab it and head back to the bathroom. The water feels amazing. It's been forever since I've taken a bath. Not really sure why. I guess I just don't ever think about it. Maybe I should change that. Might do some good for the ever-growing pressure on my spine. The steam marbles in the air above the water, curling, twisting, floating up towards the ceiling where it gathers in smoky clumps. I sit down to my chin and watch the water ripple around my pasty knees. What does she even see in me anyway? A way out. The thought pops in my head without warning. I frown. It's true, though. Gidget is beautiful and sweet and optimistic. And I'm none of those things, that's for sure. I'm certain that Gidget feels a similar sort of self-hopelessness about herself in the way that you are doing right now for yourself, Iggy. I'm basically a living caviar, nothing but colour-drained skin and bone. Hell, I can't even take care of myself. I couldn't imagine being somehow responsible for another person's well-being in addition to my own. Although they do say that looking after somebody is in a way looking after yourself because you're preoccupying yourself. I rarely even leave the house, just plunking away on my keyboard while Gidget's out there chasing a dream. Aren't you also typing away at your own dream? A dream. Another frown. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to do. Sometimes I don't even know who I am anymore. I scratch at a mole on my thigh, a very, very specific part of your thigh, then reach for rum, downing the frustratingly few drops from a still cold bottle. And then, of course, there's that. If I did reciprocate, if I did agree to be with her, then would have to. I glance down my splayed legs at the faint outline of my don lying innocently amongst the white tufts of hair. I jerk my gaze away, bring my palm to my forehead. Even think about it is sending uncomfortable snips and snaps across my arms and legs. It shouldn't be like that, though. Should it? I should be thrilled. Shouldn't I? To have a beautiful girl like Gidget like me, like that? To want me like that? I sink even further into the water, up to my nose, almost as though wanting to disappear in the bubbles. It's not like I've never taken care of myself before. Sometimes it's like it likes to stand up on its own. What are you referring to, Iggy? And it feels good. A nice... Oh, goodness sakes. But I don't think about anyone when... Oh, my goodness sakes. Certainly not Gidget. Not even celebrities or models. Sometimes I think about others. Okay, 2 characters I like that I think go well together, for instance. But I'm not involved. Wouldn't want to be involved. I can feel myself start to heat up. And it's not from the bath. I bring my hands up to my eyes, pressing down into the sockets with my palms. I wish there had been more rum left in that bottle. I can barely feel it. All I want right now is to shut everything out, turn everything off. My hands are trembling against my skin. I'm scared. So bloody scared. I take a deep breath in an attempt to calm myself down. I need to think about something else. Anything else. Like the good old days. Yeah. All of us hanging out. Best buds. Just laughing and having fun. And Genzu always making fun of all of them. None of those complications. When everything still made sense. When everyone was free from the adult world of corruption. Yeah. I let my eyes close, blowing bubbles out through my nose and dance on the water surface. You're gonna die, Iggy? My brow twitches. You think I don't know that? Hot. It had been hot that day. I can still remember the sight of the heat warping above the asphalt. The sound of other kids laughing and shouting on the playground. But yet we... Oh, we're all here. Lovely. And one looks like Pokemon cards, just as lovely. I know the back of those cards. But 5 of us were in the shade, huddled around the cards on the ground as though we're performing some kind of magic sense. I bowed down on my lip in frustration, gazed flicking back and forth between the cards in my hand and the cards on the blacktop. I guarantee Genzu's got something like a Charizard. Don't you have anything you can play? He ain't got stuff. That's 5 for 5. Bow before the undefeated champion. Genzu raised his arms in the air, hands curled into fists. You've reached the plateau, but not yet a hero. He starts cackling. I read a meet and defeat the elite. Meet, defeat, elite. It just makes my brows furrow further. But no matter how I try calculating up the various possibilities, none of them see me coming back from this. I'm so goddamn annoyed. How the frick is Genzo able to win every time? Because he uses ghost types which have no weaknesses in Gen 1. I slap my hand down on the ground. Gidget takes his opportunity to look through it. Yeah? I think you're done for. On the other side of the circle, Aurum wrings his hands. Genzu won again, he smiles. Damn straight I did. Not that it was really any contest. Genzu licks the pad of his thumb, then slicks his hair back. This deck is a miracle of silence, carefully engineered to administrate an unholy amount of whoop-ass on anyone who dared challenge it. And also, my father is a top secret employee at Game Freak who gave me a genuine Mew before the event ever came out. I chew on the inside of my inside cheek with an unamused pout. I've been so optimistic this time. I'd rebuilt my deck from the ground up and everything. Gidget pats the top of my knee with a smile. We can go buy some more packs after school. Yeah, but you better be very careful about the packs you buy. They're very expensive. Yeah. Try all you want, foolish mortal, but nothing can take down the true master. Me rubbing my hands. Challenge accepted. Ben slams Autumn's hand away as he tries to touch one of the cards. Don't contaminate my cards with your nasty, greasy fingers. Autumn shrinks back, cutting his arms around his asphalt-dusted knees. Could I at least look at them? You don't have to be so mean about it, Gidget sticks out her tongue. It's fine, I don't even care, I say with an apathetic huff. Besides, recess is almost over. We need to clean up anyway. I start picking up my cards and gems and packing them away neatly in my little carrying case. Come on, the bell's gonna ring. But Genzo isn't listening. He's got his hands in the air, fingers going in and out menacingly. Damn, I'm in a good mood. Feel like strangling something. Come here, Orlem. He pounces. Orlem meows. I ignore them, turning his head towards Gidget when she stands up next to me. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll go too. But obviously in the other door. I push myself to my feet, dusting off my knees. I hear one of the teachers blow the whistle as we walk away, followed by a shrill, "Boys!" directed at Genzo and Orlem. Gidget and I round the corner, headed towards the door, leaning back inside the hallway with the bathrooms, and we're like, no, we don't know, Versu. Don't let it get to you, Iggy. Gidget says with a little smile, giving my shoulder a pat. He's just been a brat like usual. She rolls her eyes. Yeah, like I don't know. The air turns instantly cool once we're back inside and I wipe at the sweat on my forehead. It takes my eyes a moment to adjust. Then I head to the boys' bathroom on the left as Gidget takes the door on the right. I'm just about to disappear inside when I hear voices and stop. Aren't you using the wrong one? A snicker. I put my head back outside to see two boys accosting Gidget, their hands to their mouths in stifled laughter. No, I am in the correct bathroom, thank you very much. Yeah, you're not a girl. No one knows what you are. Excuse me? More laughter. Gidget's brows furrow, and she takes a menacing step towards them. Just shut up. I am a girl. You sure about that? Yeah. Really? Is this where people are going to go to in order to get some kind of evidence to satisfy their individualistic conveniences? I bet you don't even have any dresses. And it doesn't matter if a girl doesn't have any dresses, okay? Leave me alone. I hear Gidget's voice crackle. I step back out of the hallway. Hey! The two boys yell and scutter backwards. Oh no, it's his boyfriend. It's her boyfriend. Leave her alone or I'm calling the teacher. This sends them into another fit of, whatever, freak. But they do leave, still snickering as they dart towards the outside door. I'll watch them until they disappear, then turn back to Gidget. She's just staring at the ground, her shoulders slumped. They're just jerks. Don't mind them. Yeah, but the early energy has gone from her voice. I don't know what to do, what to say. I run a hand through my hair. But my voice trails off into silence. I scratch at my calf with the side of my foot. It's whatever. Come on, we need to hurry up or the bell's gonna ring. Gidget finally says, forcing a smile. She turns before I can say anything, disappearing into the girls' bathroom. I can only watch as the door slams shut behind her, then wander off to the other bathroom in silence. You can have a boy in a dress and a girl in a tuxedo suit. It doesn't goddamn matter. You wear what you want. I dreamed that night. I'm in the woods and someone's calling me. I chase after a voice in the dankness, but every time I think I'm getting close, it comes from a different dank direction. Direction. Iggy! I run faster, the branches whipping at my face and the roots underfoot threatening to send me stumbling to the dirt. Come find me, Iggy. I run and I run and I run. Who is the identity of this caller? Run until the forest seems to open up in front of me. There's definitely a character in play in this game in which we have not yet seen, because they are kind of like the wish giver of the Wonderland. Why are we back here? Why are we at this shack that box resides in the Wonderland? I burst out into a clearing, my breath ragged, my heart beating in my chest. Where am I? Where is this? Then I see it. A small cabin. It looks so familiar somehow. Like I've seen it before. Once. Twice. Who knows how many times? At least 3 times. Was it 3 times? I'll wait until my breath has started to slow before trotting towards it. It's almost like it's pulling me in, closer and closer. My pace quickening with every step, or maybe it's Buck's pre-corruption before we come down here. I reach the door. It's definitely quiet. No wind, or birds, or insects chirping. I open it. It's not locked. So I peer inside. It's small but cozy, sporting not much more than a bed, a table, and stove. Why does all of this feel so familiar? I step forward before I can stop myself all the way inside the cabin, just looking around. Yeah, we was here before Orlem's demise. In the Arc 3 Wonderland. It's warm, and strangely comforting. There's even something cooking atop the stove, filling the air with a delightfully sweet scent. What am I doing here? I look around, my gaze jumping from the stove to the table to the bed. Something about that bed sends my insides into a twist, and I shake my head to clear my thoughts, jerking away. I look instead towards the back of the cabin, and that's when I notice it. A doll. Its small button eyes stare blankly at the floor as it hangs from a doorknob. Doorknob? I bring my gaze up. Yes, there's a door. Another door. How had I not noticed it when I first walked in? I'm here, Iggy. That's right. That's where I need to go. She's waiting for me. Who is she? I take a step towards the door. And another one. For some reason, my heart's thumping like crazy. Like it's about to beat straight out of my chest. And my fingers are trembling, shaking. I'm almost there. I reach out for the doorknob. Something scurries around the room behind me, and I spin around. My mouth feels so dry I can't swallow. Who took away my ability to swallow, okay? Can't even breathe. Then right next to my ear, a child's voice. So filled with pain and sorrow and deep-rooted despair, it's as though I'll never be happy again. Could it be Sadie? Please kill me, Iggy. Oh, I gasp and sit up. So because that's Bucks's cabin, could that even be Sadie, but somehow Sadie's taken on the form of a wish granter because she was one that was, or Sadie was one that was killed in order for Bucks to open up the gateway to the Wonderland. And Sadie's soul has somehow not been able to go to either heaven or hell, if you believe in that sort of thing, but kind of taking on a middle ground form where it is resided in the Wonderland. I gasp and sit up. My room. I'm in my room. It's morning, and the sun is filtering in through the blinds to paint checkered stripes across my exposed legs, peeking out from the mess of gnarled, sweaty sheets. God damn. I put my hands on my forehead. It comes away and soaked in sweat. I try to remember what the dream was about, but already all I can latch onto are scattered hazy images, a lingering feeling of dread. I let my upper half sag forward and focus on the sound of the birds outside the window. Good old reality, you can't beat it. Yes, they must have messed me up even more than I thought. From the cafe, which was bright, to the intervention with a mother who was, I don't know, somebody from hell. And then there's that intimate moment in the car. With a little groan, I pushed myself out of bed and trudged to the bathroom to clear up. I spent most of the morning trying to work. I really need to. After getting nothing done yesterday, I'm falling more and more behind. But every line of code seems to take me twice as long to fine angle. And the longer I stare at the screen, the more my mind starts to wander. Starts to replay the moment in the car over and over. I'm feeling cold again. My fingers like ice as they scratch at my forehead. What do? When does she expect an answer? I don't know the etiquette around these type of things. I think it's something that just falls into place when you feel ready. Am I being a complete a-hole by not getting back to her right away? Should I have responded in the evening, or do you think this is too late now? But I still don't even know what I'm going to say, how I'm going to respond. No matter what I say, things are never going to be the same between the two of us, for better or for worse. I rub at my eyes, check the time on my phone. It's already pushing the latter half of the afternoon. I'm all of a sudden overcome with the urge to not be alone, which is honestly weird for me. That goes against my own code of conduct, thank you very much, but right now my thoughts are eating me alive, and I need something to keep me from getting trapped in my own cycle of stomach-roiding angst. Maybe even someone I could talk to about all this. Someone who might actually be able to give me some advice. Work me through it. Good old Genzu. I'll pop over my contacts on my phone and scroll down to Genzu's name. If there's anyone who can help, it'd be Genzu. He always seems to have an answer to everything. He picks up on the second ring. Holy hell, who is this? Some kind of demonic being come to covert my son? So begone! The power of Christ compels you and all that shite. Very funny. Genzu snickers to the receiver. Hey, I'm just saying, I don't even remember the last time you called me, so you're either on your deathbed about to croak your last breath, or you've been possessed. And I'm not about to let some nasty-ass demon claim ownership over my... I don't respond. What do I say? I don't have any preemptive advances, thank you very much. My throat feels as tight as a vice. Genzu must notice my silence. Wait, what's wrong? Don't tell me you're actually dying. No, I just wipe on my mouth, turn my gaze towards the far wall. Do you want to go out? Like, get drinks or something? The line goes silent, dead silence, and I regret my words immediately. I must have said something wrong. I don't know what I'm doing here. What's a normal way to tell a friend that you need a talk? I feel myself start to sweat. Sorry, did that come out weird? I just wondered if you wanted to hang out. Because, like, I just felt like I really needed to talk to someone all of a sudden. But, like, I know you're probably busy, so it's okay. In fact, just forget I even asked. More silence. Then finally, a laugh. No, it's fine. You're fine, Egg. Sure, I'd be down. What? When would I ever turn down my best pal in the universe for drinks, eh? Am I right or am I right? What about that place on Sherman? It's my usual spot, easy for me to get home from when I'm 3 sheets to the wind. Sure, I think I know where that is, not that I've ever been. No, you wouldn't have, would you? Yours. The line goes silent again. I wait for him to continue. He coughs. Anyway, meet there in like an hour? Sure. I wonder if there's going to be any kind of conversation or even the physical presence of Gidget here as well. What a coincidence that would be if that is going to be the case. Despite the awkward phone call, drinks turn out to be a good idea. Great even. The place is cozy and dark and we get ourselves a small table toward the back. Genzu ordering 1 beer, 2 beers, 3, while I opt for something a bit stronger. Like bleach. Like whiskey. God, can Genzu make me laugh though. I'd forgotten this. Forgotten us. My lungs hurt as he relays a harrowing tale of his entire tool shelf falling from the wall right as a family of 5 was there to pick up a new, clearly gecko for their kid's 13th birthday. Then we're reliving moments from the school. From junior year chemistry, I was supposed to say cemetery there, where the 2 of us sat at the back of a room and goofed off the whole time. To the time we went camping in my folks' backyard and all of them had gotten so scared a murderer was going to come get us, but he wouldn't stop crying. He'd only calm down after we zipped our sleeping bags together with him in the middle like an autumn sandwich. I bet there's somewhere in the world in which the sandwich in what they have on the menu is called an autumn sandwich, and in there contains some rather questionable substances. Even all the way back to when we gone exploring in the big sewer pipes behind Gensu's house. Suddenly I don't want to Google an Orlam sandwich. Gidget had found a weird blue glass ball that the five of us had dubbed the Orb, and kept in a box in Gensu's parents' garage. The Orb. The Cube. With this one, though, my thoughts flick back to Gidget. Right. That's why I'm even here, isn't it? Gidget. I can already feel the curling tendrils of anxiety begin to take hold in the lower regions of my belly again. At least it's not somewhere even lower than that. Hey, I'm gonna go have a smoke. Be back in a jiffy. Gensu's voice snaps me from my thoughts and my head jerks upward. Huh? Oh, right. Yeah. I watch as he slides out of a booth, cane flicking left and right as he cruises towards the far door. I bring a hand to my face, stare down at my half-empty drink. I'm pretty drunk. I can feel it in the heat overtaking my stomach and chest, in the way my gaze struggles to stay focused on any one thing, in the way it mixes with anxiety building in my stomach like a Molotov cocktail, but hopefully without the explosiveness. And without Genzo's voice there to ward it off, everything is starting to come back, rising up faster than I can stop it and sending cold chills across the back of my neck. I need to tell him now, or else I'll never get it out. At least that's what my brain is telling me. And so, despite the numbness in my fingers and the tremble in my legs, I push myself to my feet and start towards the door. Even though we left our drinks on the goddamn table. Genzo is sitting on a little bench around the corner of the building when I step outside. He looks incredibly small, somehow, in the dankness. Cigarette smoke marbling above his head. When did it get so dark? Is it really night already? Or am I just that drunk that I can't tell night from day? I stumble towards him. Genzo. My voice crackles with plethrum like some kind of newly arisen zombie. And I see Genzo's body jerk backwards. His head spins towards me with a snap, cigarette practically flying from his lips. Holy blood! What are you doing, X? You're gonna give me a heart attack! He chuckles, but it's higher pitch than his usual guffaws nervous. I scratch at my calf with the side of my foot. I can see him staring in my direction. Already my voice is failing me. I walk over to him, instead sitting down hard on the bench beside him. Everything alright? Maybe you had one too many in there. Another chuckle. Now this is the Genzo I prefer. The cheeky Genzo, not the scared, belly-talking Genzo. He blows out a plump of smoke, and the smell gathers in my nasal cavity, charred and burnt. Can I tell you something? He goes quiet, and I swear I can hear him swallow. I mean, sure, of course. You can always tell me anything, eh? I lick my lips, rub at a spot on my pants. Then finally, Gidget kissed me. Silence. I feel him shift on the bench. That's great. Mr. Heartbreaker over here making the girls swoon, am I right? Am I right? He almost made a whistle of a laugh, but there's a strange tremble in his voice. You two finding an item then. I always knew it's going to happen. Made for each other and all that, you know. Just please tell me you'll let me be the best man for the wedding. I'll throw the most braticus bachelor party for you. My fingers curl tight and tight around my knees as he talks. No, I don't know. I don't know what I should do. I haven't given it any kind of answer yet. Genzo sits back. I can practically see him blinking at me beneath his sunglasses. Wait, what, you don't like her? I know I haven't seen her since junior high, but I'm sure she's as much a babe now as she was then. He cocks a cigarette up between his lips. She's... Oh gosh, she's gorgeous, yes. Ugh. And I'm like, I do like her, but at the same time I swallow. Scared. I'm so goddamn brown pants scared. That's what alcohol is for, buddy. Genzo gives my shoulder a reassuring shake. A nice dinner, bottle of wine, then bingo bango, lust, sweet caress, you'll handle the rest. Even someone as socially inept as you can't screw that part up. I'm starting to shake now. Just as long as you know what part of the grandfather clock you need to tinker at the right time. My fingers trembling. I clutch at them in an attempt to calm them down. That's just it. Why is this so difficult to say? I don't know. I don't want to do that. Oh, you're one of those types. Wants to be special, is that it? Well, that's my idea. You could plan out a whole evening. Make it all romantic. Really lay it on thick. If I know Gidget, she'll eat it up right away. Girl always had a soft spot for the idyllic. Just show her what a chivalrous debonair you are. Then it doesn't matter how bad you perform. You get what I mean? No. I clench my hands in my hair, cheeks burning. I don't want to have sex. The last word seems to echo in the night air, pulsing on and off, again and again. And my goddamn heart is going to overdrive. I can feel it in my arms, my legs, my head, my eyes, my everything, even my... Somehow, in that one blurted phrase, I finally managed to verbalize the confusion and fear that's been strangling me for I don't even know how long. It surprises even me. That's what it had been all this time. So simple, and yet so goddamn terrifying at the same time. I just sit there holding my breath, waiting for Gidget to say something. Maybe it's not in his place to say something here. It feels like forever. The sun is just weighing down my shoulders. Then finally his voice cracks, and he asks softly, "At all?" I shake my head. Thoughts so jumbled that I forgot for a moment that he can't see me, then follow it up with, "I don't think so." Gensu lets out a sort of half grunt, and I see his gaze turn upwards, almost as though he's looking at the sky. Huh. He says after a moment. My eyes start to burn, and I feel hot tears well up in the corners. There's something wrong with me, isn't there? Gidget will never want to be with me once she knows she'll hate me. Hey, don't say that. But now apparently the floodgates have been opened because the tears are streaming down my cheeks. I'll never be able to make her happy. I'll never be able to make anyone happy. No one would ever want to be with someone like me. My body crumbles in and of itself, and I let myself fall on Gensu's shoulder. Damn, man. And Gans just said, like, goodness sakes, what am I dealing with right now? Oh, gosh. Gans's body goes rigid against mine, and I hear his breath hitch. He doesn't do anything at first. Then ever so gently he puts his arm around my back, fingers curling around my wrist. He gives me a reassuring squeeze. Don't say that, he says so softly I almost don't hear it. He presses his cheek into the top of my head. It's a comforting warmth, and I feel my chest start to unclench itself ever so slightly. What do I do? Gensu sighs. It takes him a long time to respond. I can see his knee bouncing, the orange glow of a cigarette trembling. What does one do? Tell her the truth. Tell her how you feel. Explain it to her. His words are slow, careful. Then the ball is in her court. She's the only one who can decide if she's willing to... He winces. Sorry, that was a poor choice of words. I don't want to make it sound like... But he doesn't finish. He doesn't need to, though. I know what he'd been about to say. She'd need to be willing to put up with me. Willing to make that sacrifice. Willing to be with someone like me. This thought shames me, and I feel my heart drop somewhere near down my shoes. Damn, Gensu must feel my slump deepen, because he gives me another squeeze, pulls me in tight against his side. What a friend. Hey, sorry, just forgot what I even started to say. Okay, I'm really goddamn bad at this. I just say the first bloody words that pop into the old noggin, but like, I never thought about or like being in this situation before, so I'm just struggling to figure out how to say things. But that's on me, not you. I see him bite down on his lip. Look, if she loves you for the way you are, then she's the one for you. That's just straight facts, so just be open with her. That's all you can do in the end. My man. Yeah. And while we're at it, X, don't you ever goddamn say nobody ever wanna be someone like you ever again, you hear me? Because that's grade A BS. Exactly. A fly guy like you don't need that to bring all the ladies to the yard. If Gidget's not the one, you have a whole goddamn Congo line to dance with the cockroach with you. So just get that thought out of your mind before I have to slap it out myself. I chuckle in spite of myself. It comes out as a sort of blasphemy hiccup. Okay. Let's be more open with this one. Do you think there's others like me? Yes! I grow quiet for a moment thinking. Then, do you think there's others like me? Others that feel the same way? I feel Genzu tilt his head. Sure there are. I mean, there must be, right? You can find pretty much anything out there nowadays. You just gotta find your people. I laugh. Probably not in Lambrook. I mean, you can't even find a good steak in that city. You're considered against the grain here just for disagreeing about the weather. But I'm sure if you poked around the recesses of the internet, you'll find people. Others you can lament with about your mutual aversion to be all in and out. Yeah. It grows quiet again. The two of us just sitting there on a little bench outside Grubb's pub on Sherman Avenue. God damn eggs. Genzu, I sniff. I never told anyone any of this before. Genzu just laughs. Yeah, didn't figure. I pause. His cigarette has already burned clear down to the filter. Then he pushes his face into the top of my head. I'm glad you told me, though. It makes me feel heartwarmed. It makes me feel valued, but you shared something that is so deep with me. Oh, great. We're at this house again, and we're going to go towards the forest, aren't we? I'll walk again to home once we finish our drinks. The street is strangely silent. Not a single car driving by. No voices or sounds from the surrounding houses. And when we reach a little path leading up to his apartment complex, I don't even see any lights on. Weird. The street light nearest us is flicking on, off, with a teeny buzz that makes the hair on my arm stand up again. We both just stand there in the middle of the sidewalk, neither one of us moving to leave. Genzu coughs into his hand. Night air feels kind of nice somehow. Might keep walking for a bit. Yeah, me too. I don't know if we're going to go into the forest. We're going to go somewhere else! And so we continue on, away from the apartment complex, simply ambling along in silence. Neither one of us wanted to admit that something is pulling us. Something is keeping our feet in motion. From one street to the next we walk, headed towards the development to the north, towards where my folks used to live, just south of the outcropping of woods that somehow hasn't been built over even after all these years. My palm is starting to tingle, a pinprick-like scratching that jumps from one nerve ending to the next and makes my fingers twitch. But rather than uncomfortable, it feels welcoming, like I'm back on a path well travelled. Genzu comes to a stop first, and when I glance over, I see why. That familiar gap between the houses. That empty lot with its grass, tufts, and dandelions, and that looming shadow of the woods beyond. It's the local arcade! We're there, aren't yet? We're there, aren't we? Genzu asks. We are. His brows furrow. Look, I'm just going to assume you felt the same thing I did. Otherwise, why the hell would you walk all the way out here with me? Yeah. Perfect. No need to talk about it then. I can pretend I'm at least somewhat sane for a little while longer. He claps his hands together and starts off across the grassy tract. I expend the energy for a short jog to catch up, then fall into step beside him. Yep, it's definitely the arcade. We reach the tread threshold just as a gust of wind curls up and under my shirt, sending goosebumps across my back. At this point, I'm about 99.9% certain we've done this before. Genzo is thumping his cane against the nearest tree as though testing whether it's real. And next time I'm going to be 99.99999% sure. I can't argue with him. Despite knowing I've never stood in this spot, never stood here with him pondering what we're both about to do, I feel as though I've done this hundreds of times. Whenever I try to latch onto that feeling, though, it slips through my fingers like sand, and trying to picture what happens next is even more futile, like trying to remember a dream once you've opened your eyes. I glance back at the lot and the sidewalk and the street light in the distance, at the neighbouring houses with their darkened windows. Then return my gaze to the shadow between the trees, a flitting wisp of wind curling around my ankles and tussling the leaves underfoot. I guess we go then? To there? No, on an all-expenses paid trip to purgatory. Hey. At this point, what's the difference? Touchy! I steady my breath, attempt to calm the accelerating tremolo of my heart. Then step forward. Yes, Iggy is not grabbing Genzu by the neck this time. The air instantly cools. It's a damn chill, the kind that sticks to your skin and weighs down your chest. I press forward through the scattered brush, using my hands to keep on walking face first into a tree. I can hear Genzu's cane whipping through the grass and snapping against the bark behind me. It's eerie the way my body remembers which direction to go, even after this long, even in this pitch-black nothingness. Though perhaps it's not memory at all. Memory wouldn't tug at my arm. Memory wouldn't tweak the direction of my toes with every step, leading me further and further into the spongy blankness, where all I can hear is my own heartbeat echoing off my rib cage. I reach forward, seeking out the bark of the next tree. Only this time, when my fingers touch the jagged edges, it sends a spark all the way up my arm and into the back of my throat. I stop. Genzu's cane wraps against my ankles, and he stops too. We're here? Yeah, I answer before I even have a chance to check, because I know. How could I not? Here we are, the biggest tree in the forest, its base like a giant boulder choked with winding roots. I let my fingers trace across its surface as I circle around, careful not to trip on the gnarled outgrowths. Halfway around, my hand hits air. I come to a halt. The familiar edges are there, the rounded gap in the side, the hollow echo of stagnant air, the far scent of something sweet. It's open. I take a step back and hear Genzu approach. Unsurprising, all things considered. He has a point. If it weren't open, none of what we've just experienced would make a lick of sense. My thoughts jump to Gidget. She's here, isn't she? Like everything else, I don't know how I know. I just know. She's down there, waiting. Waiting for me? Waiting for my response. The thought makes my mouth go dry. I'll need to tell her. But how will she react? Will I end up losing one of my best friends? You still there, Eggs? My head snaps up against his voice. Quiet as a ghost over there. Thought maybe you already went bottoms up. No, I was just thinking. Genzo goes quiet, but I can hear him shifting in the dankness. Everyone else is already down there, aren't they? He finally says softly. Yeah. Just us two losers left. Damn, it's almost picturesque in a way. I move forward towards the hole, popping a squat among the weeds. There's that scent again. soft, sweet, like the tempting aroma of a candy store. It curls up inside my nostrils. I grab around the edges and peek inside, leaning forward on my toes. At least you'll have plenty of time to talk to Gidget. I jerk my head up at this, retort already plain on my tongue. I need to whack my forehead on the top edge of a hole and probably lose my balance. I'll land with a bruise-inducing thud on my shins. And we're going down now, but last thing I hear as I begin to sway forward is Genzu's half amused, "See you on the other side." Thanks, because I like for someone to say that to me before I die, before toppling straight into the hole. Who's gonna call for me? The dankness swallows me. Who's gonna call for me? Nobody, that's who. I'm falling. Wind whips my hair, my shirt, summoning water to my eyes. My stomach feels like it's being sucked up straight into my bowels. On and on and on and on. Complete nothingness surrounding me, consuming me. But there's a strange sense of familiarity in the darkness too. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Welcome me back. Iggy? That voice again. Again? Yes, again. It's been waiting for me. What do you want, Iggy? What do I want? What kind of a question is that? What do you wish for more than anything else in the whole world? For you to shut up and stop haunting me. Stop haunting me, sorry. Don't know. I think about Gidget, Genzu, about the tangled mess of feelings plaguing my thoughts. I don't know. I feel like I'm being pulled. First one way, then the next. Like a puppet suspended in the air. I grope in the darkness, trying to find something to hold on to. But there's nothing there. Nothing inside me. Nothing to hold me down. I don't know what I want. The pulling thing begins to recede. I'm on a single path again. And my fingers. My fingers are starting to tingle. First tiny nibbles of numbness, then building into incessant zaps of electricity. Up my arms they go, growing and growing into my chest, to my stomach, shooting down into my legs. And loud. So loud, I can't hear them. I can't think. Just when I think I can't take anymore, my consciousness goes. My mind goes blank. Oh, dearie me, we're back into this complete nightmare again. Iggy. There's something soft below me. A furry warmth curled up and nests against my back like an oversized lumbar pillow. Iggy. Who is that? Genzu? Why is he in my apartment? This is not your apartment. The thought makes me laugh and I roll over with a groan, pushing my face back into an exceptionally soft bit of fur with a smile of contentment. Give me 5 more minutes, Genzu. Then I'll come out for breakfast. For goodness sakes, Eggs, you're gonna get yourself buried in there. Wait a minute. My eyes snap open. Here they are again. Well, this isn't my apartment. What time is this? Oh, that is Genzu. Then what are we? I sit up with a start. So fast it makes my head spin and dots dance across my eyes. I immediately sink back down, fingers pressed to my temple as I wait for the world to stabilize itself. That's right. But let's just take things one step at a time, eh? At least take me out to the pub first. Oh wait, we already did that. A shadow overtakes my view, and I look to see a familiar orange-caped head. I turn my bleary gaze towards Genzu. That's right. We're here, and like everything that's happened so far, this doesn't surprise me. I'm not sure anything would surprise me at this point. How long have you been awake? I asked with a groan. Genzu reaches down and grabs my hand, pulling me to my feet with a laugh. Long enough to hear you talking in your sleep. Who is Mr. Cornwall and why is he trying to make you sing? I stared at him a moment. head still struggling to catch up, then grunt and try to step towards the center of the room. My legs promptly give. The world quickly rises around me as I tumble forward. And I have gone all the way to the floor too. If Genzo hadn't somehow managed to grab me gracefully beneath my armpits, my arms cocked out like chicken wings. Let's just take it easy there, buddy. Not gonna get very far if you bust your head open on our childhood snack rack. He hauls me over to the table in question with a grunt, plopping down atop one of the small chairs. It's barely large enough to encompass my adult rear end. Perhaps two of them would. We're really here then, I say as my gaze scans the room. My eyes flick from the table, still covered in half-eaten cookies, to the crackling fire-rounded windows, simmering stove. That's the impression I prefer on Genzo. A cheeky Genzo. Everything is just as I remember. Almost as if I'd just been here yesterday. Had I been here yesterday? Yes and no. That we are, though I think you'll concur with me that it wasn't altogether entirely unexpected. Genzo's finger goes to his chin. No. I let my lips buzz in a sigh of remorse, then slap my hands against my forehead. But that's exactly why this feels so weird. What the hell is going on? Some prime buggery, that's what. Genzo laughs, then wiggles his fingers around above the table. I wonder if these are still good. He swipes half a chocolate chip cookie off the hardwood surface. Seriously? He shrugs. A guy's gotta eat when he's hungry, you know. Am I right or am I right? I push myself to my feet, leaving him to his cookie-munching ministrations and wandering towards the other side of the room with my other half-eaten cookie. A chill sweeps up my back and I curl my arms in front of my chest, all of a sudden feeling incredibly cold. My head is a mess. A jumbled snarl of out-of-focus snapshots dance across my vision, and a whole smorgasbord of feelings to go with them. Fear, anger, panic, but also others I can't explain. Joy, relief, pain. My wings are starting to feel nauseous. Hey, you okay? Genzo's voice snaps me from my thoughts, and when I glance back, I see him staring at me, half a cookie with hanging out of his mouth. The absurdity and strange familiarity of the image brings a sudden bubble of laughter up from my lungs, and when I try to suppress it, I end up snorting instead. Attractive, Genzo smirks. Oh, says one, snuffling down. Who knows how long they've been sitting their cookies? Hey, he starts, as though about to make some sort of smart-mouthed rebuttal. But he ultimately shrugs it off, wandering over to me instead. Seriously though, you look like you're about to pass out, bloody pale as a ghost, and I mean worse than usual. He presses the back of his hand to my cheek. The touch, combined with the words, sends lightning bolt-like synapses shooting through my brain with such force it takes the breath out of me. Both of us snap backwards. Did you? I start just staring at him. Now it's Genzo's turn to go pale. I've said that before, haven't I? Those exact same goddamn words. My eyes feel like they're shaking their sockets. Da da da! But we're not given time to ponder the increasing absurdity of our situation. There's footsteps outside. Heavy, march-like, steady and methodical. Oh no! Genzo groans. We dash towards the window, but it's not like we need to. Both of us know what's about to round the bend outside. They appear as predicted. 2 by 2! Boots bruising the dirt and long ears bouncing left, right, left. Around the curve, the well-trained path kicking up dust with each synchronous step. I step away from the window, wringing my hands. The nausea plaguing my stomach is growing worse. Already I can feel the walls starting to undilate around me. Tendrils of panic clutching at my chest, my throat. Genzo! I moan before I can stop myself, breath coming out faster and faster. Genzo spins around, then starts towards me,
face covered with worry. But just as he opens his mouth, the footsteps outside come to a stop. An abrupt stop. Even more abrupt than expected. "Who's there? Show yourself!" The squawk is so shrill it rattles the window glass in its pain. And the shock of it gives my bowels such a twitch that I'm pretty sure I've sprites my lenses on the spot. Eyes strained. I throw a look at Genzo, who looks equally as terrified. How? How could they? There's no way they could have. There comes the sound of boots. Crisp and sharp, the footsteps grow louder, nearer to the cottage door. He's coming. He's coming inside. My hand grows instinctively to Genzo's shoulder, fingers curling tight in the fabric of his jacket. And I see him move purposely to the left, putting himself between me and the door with one arm raised to keep me back. Closer. The rabbit is almost here now. I can hear the rattle of iron on his boots with each deliberate stomp. Closer. The door is shaking on its hinges. I can see the rabbit's eyes in my mind. Jumpy, wild, bearing down on me. Then, "I ordered you to show yourself. Just what are you doing back there?" This is followed up by the sound of rustled brush, wrenched fabric, a yelp. I stir at the door. I think this rabbit is looking out for another rabbit. Not looking out, but looking for another rabbit. What? My grip on Genzo's jacket loosens ever so slightly. "I'm just doing my job. I do have a permit, so if you would please..." A pause. More shifting noises. Then a thud as something or someone presumably falls back to the ground. "Very well. As much as it pains me, I'll allow you to stay. Just try not to make yourself look so much like a suspicious brigand begging for an overnight stay in His Majesty's stores next time." Something skids across the dirt. Then the rabbit's footsteps begin anew. "Away, away, away." Another squawked. "Back to it, you ingrats." That makes my eardrums bleed. Then the marching resumes. Crisp, sharp, and perfectly in time. But also not a murdered rabbit out here. Only after it completely fades in the distance do I let my shoulders fall and I release the breath I hadn't even realized I've been holding. I shoot Genzo a look of confusion, then start hesitantly towards the door. My fingertips find the doorknob. I swallow. Then open it. For just a moment I have to squeeze my eyes shut against the light. It's quite a bit brighter than the dim cottage lighting. But after a few hurried blinks, I manage to squint just enough to see. And my gaze goes instantly in the direction the previous altercation had taken place. You know what? We're going to be back here the next time around because this young man is not here before in the previous alterations of Our Wonderland. So let me know what you think down in the comment sections below of what's going on here. Why was this young man around here? And why has he not been impaled by the rabbits which were nearby here just a moment ago? But alas, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and we shall see each other on the next time of Our Wonderland, where we'll be pursuing the Ark of Gidget. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, everyone.